Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're going to tackle a topic that sounds kind of heavy, but is actually really elegant, the equilibrium constant for gases, or Kp. We're going to break down what it is and why it's such an incredibly useful tool in chemistry.
So, let's just start with a big question. Picture a chemical reaction happening, but it's all gases. How in the world do you measure when that reaction has found its balance? How do you find equilibrium in what just looks like a chaotic cloud? Well, that's the exact puzzle we're going to solve.
You know, it all boils down to this really cool idea called dynamic equilibrium. Now, when you hear equilibrium, don't think everything's just stopped. No. Think of it more like a perfectly balanced seesaw. People are still moving, but the seesaw itself is level. It's a balance of constant motion.
So what does that look like in chemistry? Well, chemical equilibrium is that sweet spot where the stuff you're making, the products, is being formed at the exact same rate that it's breaking back down into the stuff you started with, the reactants. The forward reaction and the reverse reaction are in perfect sync.
A really good way to think of it is as a sort of chemical stalemate. It's not that the reaction has slammed on the brakes. Molecules are still flying around, reacting back and forth, but neither side is making any net progress. So if you were to look inside the container, the amounts of everything would look totally frozen.
Okay, so here's where it gets interesting. In a liquid solution, right, we usually measure this balance using concentration. You know, how much stuff is crammed into a liter. But gases? They're a whole different beast. They just expand to fill whatever container you put them in, which means their volume is always changing. And if the volume's always changing, trying to measure amount per liter is like trying to hit a moving target. It's just not reliable.
So we need a shift in our thinking. For gases, we stop asking how much space they take up, and instead, we ask how hard are they pushing. That push against the walls of the container, that's something we can measure consistently, and we call it pressure.
And this, right here, brings us to the star of our show, Kp. It's our special equilibrium constant designed specifically for reactions with gases. It uses pressure, not concentration, to tell us exactly where that equilibrium point is.
Now, to understand Kp, you need to get one key idea: partial pressure. It's actually pretty simple. If you have a mix of different gases in a box, the partial pressure of just one of those gases is the amount of pressure that gas alone is responsible for. It's its individual contribution to the total push.
With that in mind, we can define Kp. It's just a ratio. Really, it's just a fraction. On the top of the fraction, you put the partial pressures of the products, and on the bottom, you put the partial pressures of the reactants. That one number tells you the whole story of the balance.
Okay, theory's great, but how do we actually put this into practice? Building a Cap expression is way easier than it sounds. It's basically like following a simple recipe. Let's walk through it.
So let's use this generic reaction as our template. The big A and B are our reactants, what we start with. The big C and D are our products, what we end up with. And all those little lowercase letters, A, B, C, and D, those are just the balancing numbers, the coefficients from the equation.
So here's the recipe. Step 1, find your products, C and D. Step 2, find your reactants, A and B. Step 3, set up your fraction, products on top, reactants on the bottom. And now for the most important part, Step 4, those little balancing numbers become the exponents, the powers for each gas's pressure. And that's it. You've written the Ks expression.
Awesome. So we can write the expression, but. So what? Why even calculate this number? Well, the real magic of Kp isn't in the formula itself. It's in what that final number tells us about the reaction. It's not just a number, it's the whole story.
So let's ask it straight up. You go through all that work, you plug in your pressures, and you get a number. What does that number mean? What's it telling you about what's happening inside that container? It's actually incredibly straightforward. It all comes down to whether that number is big or small. If Kp is greater than 1, that means the top of our fraction, the products, is bigger than the bottom. Simple as that. So we say the reaction favors the products. But if Kp is less than 1, a tiny decimal, that means the bottom, the reactants, is bigger. The reaction doesn't really want to go forward very much. It favors the reactants.
So in the end, that's what KEP really is. It's this incredibly powerful predictive number that tells you where a reaction is headed. It reveals whether a reaction is naturally going to make a ton of product or if it's mostly just going to sit there. It's like having a sneak peek at the final destination of a chemical journey, all packed into one single number.